Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 15th chapter. The Pandavas retire timely. Text number 13 onwards. Now Arjuna is further telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, Tatra me viharato bhunjadanda yugmam gandiv lakshanam arati vadhaya deva saindra shrita yadanubhavitam ajamir tenaham adya mushitah purushena bhumna. Translation. When I stayed for some days as a guest in the heavenly planets, all the heavenly demigods, including King Indradev, took shelter of my arms, which were marked with the Gandhi bow, to kill the demon named Nivat Kavach. O king, descendant of Ajamir, at the present moment I am bereft of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose influence I was so powerful. So Arjuna is acknowledging that it was only by mercy of Krishna I had the power. Otherwise, I have no power. And he's recounting that incident when he went to heaven. So, including King Indradev took shelter of his arms because Arjuna was so powerful that he killed the demon named Nivat Kavach. I don't know what the story is behind this. Maybe I'll try to find out what had happened there. I'll post it. The heavenly demigods are certainly more intelligent, powerful, and beautiful, and yet they had to take help from Arjuna because of his Gandhi bow, which was empowered by the grace of Lord Shri Krishna. The Lord is all powerful, and by his grace, his pure devotee can be as powerful as he may desire, and there is no limit to it. And when the Lord withdraws his power from anyone, he is powerless by the will of the Lord. So it's all Krishna can do anything with anybody. For his devotee, he can give him unlimited powers. And at the same time, he can withdraw any powers from his devotee or any person, but especially from his devotees. So, whatever, if the power, if any kind of power, any kind of quality, any kind of capability is an obstacle on the path of our advancement in bhakti, Krishna will definitely remove it. If any power can make us more advanced in bhakti, Krishna will be more than happy to give it. Just like once Tamal Kesh Maharaj was telling us in class, there once somebody had invited Srila Prabhupada to his house for prasadam. I believe it was in India, somewhere some very rich person had invited. And Tamal Kesh Maharaj and other devotees went with Prabhupada. And they seated everybody on the main dining table and they served them in silver plates and silver bowls, silver cups, everything was made of pure silver. So when they were serving, and when they were coming back, so Tamalkesh Maharaj told Prabhupada, actually we should be serving you in silver plates and silver cups, but we can't. And then Prabhupada told him that don't be envious of the householders. You should not be. And then later on Prabhupada told him that if Krishna wants, he can give you the entire world. Means he can give you the whole world, all the wealth of the world, he can give you. But the question is, what are you going to do with it? So that's why Krishna doesn't give. Krishna wants to make sure that we are not going to misuse it. That's why he withholds his mercy. He he gave his mercy to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, at the time when Prabhupada Krishna knew Prabhupada is going to use everything in Krishna's service. Krishna gave him everything. So many temples all over the world, so many disciples, a flourishing movement. Money was just flowing in from every single direction. There was no dearth of money. In the beginning, Prabhupada had to struggle, but later on, he had so much money, but he didn't use a single peso on himself. Similarly, Dhruv Maharaj, when he went to the forest to meditate upon Krishna or Vishnu and to ask him, the desire he had when he went for meditation was that he wanted a kingdom better than even Lord Brahma. But after he saw Vishnu, after he took darshan of Lord Vishnu, he he said, no, I was looking for broken pieces of glass. Now I got the real diamond. I don't want any of those material desires to be fulfilled. But Lord Vishnu told him that since you had that material desire, and Vishnuji knew that Dhruv had now he has no material desire. Now he's all completely perfect. So Lord Vishnu said, I will give you that. And you will be completely detached, and at the end of this life you'll come back to me. So Dhruv Maharaj ruled over this kingdom for 36,000 years without any attachment. And after he ruled, he went back to spiritual world in the very self same body. Means his body was also spiritualized. So Krishna can give anything to any of his devotees. The only question is, are we ready for that? Will we get distracted? The real test, actually the real test of bhakti is not when Krishna takes away everything. That's not the real test. The real test is not when Krishna gives us lots of troubles, lots of problems. The real test is, are we still going to remember Krishna when he gives us everything? When he takes away everything, it's easy. Then we have nowhere else to go but to surrender. When he gives us problems, we have nothing else to do but surrender. But when he gives us everything, then what do we do? That is a real test actually. And Krishna can put somebody through this test also. Somebody will say, oh, I don't mind, Krishna, you put me through this test. Just give me lots of money and lots of fame, position, everything. Even if I fail, I'll be very happy. At least I'll be enjoying materially. But that's not the test. We need to go. We want to flunk actually. Because if we flunk that test, then we don't know which lifetime we're going to remember Krishna again. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was praying, when in his Shikshashtakam, first thing he said, Na dhanam na janam. Dhanam, I don't want dhan. Krishna can give lots of wealth, lots of prosperity. He says, I don't want dhan. Na janam, I don't want any followers, lots of followers. I don't want any beautiful wife. I don't want any knowledge. All these Aishwaryas, you keep it to yourself. Just give me bhakti. He says, I don't even want mukti. I want birth after birth, but just give me bhakti. So the real test, that is a real test. Because in that test, nobody can see, or even we don't see if we are suffering. Real suffering is when we forget Krishna. So that is a real suffering. So Arjun here, at that time, even when he had all the powers, he was still Krishna conscious. And now Krishna took away everything, all his powers, he is still Krishna conscious. That is the test, and that is more important. Text 14. Yad bandhava kuru bhalaptim anantaparam eko rathen tate tat tare aham Tire sattvam pratyahritam bahudhanam cha maya paresham tejas padam manimayam cha hritam shirobhyam. The military strength of the Kauravas was like an ocean in which there dwelt many invincible existences, and thus it was insurmountable. But because of his friendship, I, seated on the chariot, was able to cross over it. And only by his grace was I able to regain the cows and also collect by force many helmets of the kings which are bedecked with jewels that were source of all brilliance. So this incident about the stealing of the cows and he was taking back the cows, it happened when there was this war at the end of the exile period, towards the end of exile period. So Duryodhan had somehow found out that these brothers, they are hiding in the kingdom of Virat. So they attacked, and the way they attacked was they first of all they took away the cows of all the villagers that were surrounding the kingdom. So when the cows were gone, there was a problem, and the villagers were starting to come to complain to the king. So the king sent his son. Actually, king didn't. Arjun, who was Brihanala, Arjun, who was living as a eunuch, he told king, okay, your son is very powerful and he can go and defeat everybody. Of course, king wanted to believe that, but he still didn't. But Arjun said, don't worry, I'll go with him and I'll be his charioteer. And Arjun, as Brihanala, as a woman or as a eunuch, he went with this boy, Uttar. Of course, the boy, even before seeing the whole army and all the warriors like Bhishma, Duryodhan, Karna, Ashwathama, Dronacharya, everybody was there. He practically fainted. Arjun then told him, okay, let me get my weapons. They had hidden the weapons on a tree. And Arjun got his weapons, especially the Gandhi bow and the arrows. And he fought with everybody single-handedly. And he defeated them. That was a war of Virat. That was before Mahabharata. So purport Prabhupada writing, on the Kaurav side, there were many stalwart commanders like Bhishma, Drona, Kripa and Karna, and their military strength was as insurmountable as the great ocean. And yet it was due to Lord Krishna's grace that Arjun alone sitting on the chariot could manage to vanquish them one after another without difficulty. There were many changes of commanders on the other side, but on the Pandava side alone, Arjun, on the chariot driven by Lord Krishna, could manage the whole responsibility of the great war. Well, here Prabhupada is referring to Mahabharata, the war of Kurukshetra, but the cows thing now he will say. Similarly, when the Pandavas were living at the palace of Virat incognito, the Kauravas picked a quarrel with King Virat and decided to take away his large number of cows. While they were taking away the cows, Arjun fought with them incognito and was able to regain the cows, along with some booty taken by force, the jewels set on the turbans of the royal order. Arjun remembered that all this was possible by the grace of the Lord. So this is a real devotee. That's a Gita. If we think of Gita as an acronym, Gita stands for gratitude is the attitude. So we have to be grateful towards Krishna for everything that he has given us. That is a real devotee. Text 15. Yo Bhishma Karna Guru Shalya Mushva Dabra Rajanya Varirath Mandal Manditasu Agrecharo Mambibho Rath Youth Pana Mayur Manansi Chadrisha Sahoj Archat. It was he only who withdrew the duration of life from everyone and who in the battlefield withdrew the speculative power and strength of enthusiasm from the great military phalanx made by the Kauravas headed by Bhishma, Karna, Drona, Shalya, etc. Their arrangement was expert and more than adequate, but he, Lord Krishna, while going forward, did all this. So Krishna can do anything. So basically, he withdrew the strength of enthusiasm and the strength of fighting, the power for fighting, from Kaurav side. And here he gave everything to Pandava side. The absolute personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, expands himself by his plenary Paramatma portion in everyone's heart. And thus he directs everyone in the matter of recollection, forgetfulness, knowledge, absence of intelligence, and all psychological activities. Prabhupada is quoting text 15.15 from Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hriti sanvishto, matta smritir jnanam apohnam cha. From me comes remembrance, forgetfulness, and all kinds of knowledge. As a Supreme Lord, he can increase or decrease the duration of life of a living being. Thus, the Lord conducted the battle of Kurukshetra according to his own plan. He wanted that battle to establish Yudhishthira as the emperor of this planet, and to facilitate this transcendental business, he killed all who were on the opposite party by his omnipotent will. The other party was equipped with all military strength, supported by big generals like Bhishma, Drona, and Shalya, and it would have been physically impossible for Arjun to win the battle had the Lord not helped him by every kind of tactic. So how many tactics Krishna used to protect Arjun and to make him win, it was amazing. I mean, anything against Bhishma there, against Drona, against Karna, against Jayadratha, and against all other warriors. How Krishna guided, how Krishna protected Arjun. It was, if you read Mahabharata, then it's so evident. The Krishna, basically he tells, I will take side of my devotees. That's it. And he did. Throughout Mahabharata, he did. Such tactics generally followed by every statesman, even in modern warfare, but they're all done materially by powerful espionages, military tactics, and diplomatic maneuvers. But because Arjun was the Lord's affectionate devotee, the Lord did all this himself without personal anxiety for by Arjun. That is the way of the devotional service to the Lord. If we do little service for Krishna, he never forgets and he's always there to help us. Always. Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, O Arjun, you declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. He says, Yoga Kshemam Vahamim. I personally carry what my devotees lack and I personally preserve what they have. Anything they have. Even the bhakti that they have done, Krishna says, I personally preserve it. Of course, till the time we commit offense. Of course, then whatever we have done, it is preserved, but the future progress becomes very slow. Or it can stop altogether. But other than that, Krishna is personally there. He says, Yoga Kshemam Vahami Aham. Aham, I personally do it. He says, I don't get it done by somebody else. I do it myself. So there's a little story. Once Akbar Maharaj, he asked Birbal, your Lord Krishna, you say he is the Supreme Lord himself. But here in the scriptures it is mentioned that he personally comes to protect his devotees. Akbar Maharaj says, he is the Supreme Lord, according to your scriptures. So why he has to personally come? Why can't he just get it done? Why can't he just send one of his servants, one of his energies, one of his devtas to get it done, to protect his devotees? Veerable thought, oh, Akbar Maharaj is not going to understand it like that. I have to give him some demonstration. So let me wait for the right time. So a few days later, Birbal, he went to Akbar and told Akbar Maharaj, I have arranged a very beautiful boat ride for you and the whole family in Yamuna. So please bring everybody. So Akbar Maharaj did that. And his Birbal said, please bring all your major ministers and the commander of the army and chief, whatever, whoever you want to, please bring them all. It is a big boat. So Akbar said, okay. He brought them all. So they were in the boat. It was a huge boat. So while Akbar was enjoying the boat ride, he was enjoying the scenery, the beautiful water of Yamuna, and the nice music was being played. Then he saw towards the back of the boat, he saw his maid servant. She picked up his Akbar's son, who was little that time. She picked up his son and threw him in Yamuna. Akbar just saw that. The maid servant, she just threw the son in Yamuna. Akbar just dived in, just jumped in Yamuna right then. And he swam towards the sun. Of course, seeing Akbar diving, his ministers, his commanders, everybody dived in Yamuna and they all went towards the sun. And Akbar was first to reach the sun and then he picked up his son. But then he saw it wasn't his son, it was just a mannequin. It was just a doll. But anyway, he brought the doll back. Somehow he got back on the boat and all the ministers came back. And Akbar was so infuriated, so angry with this maidservant. He called that maidservant, come, why did you do that? I give you death penalty right away. She started shivering. She said, oh Maharaj, please forgive me. Birbal told me to do this. So I just followed his orders. I didn't know why he's told me. What he told me to do it and I did it. So Akbar said, told Birbal, what's this nonsense going on? Why did you tell the maid servant to throw away my son? Or of course, it wasn't my son, it was this doll looking like my son. Birbal asked him, when she was throwing the doll in the Yamuna, why did you jump? Why didn't you tell your commanders? Why didn't you tell your ministers? Go and save my son. Akbar said, how could I have done that? It was my son. I couldn't control myself. I had to jump. I had to protect myself. And Birbal said, same thing happens with Krishna. Because he loves his devotees so much, he cannot control himself. He runs after his devotees to protect them, to take care of them. That is Krishna. That's his love for his devotees. And this is what Arjuna is remembering, and he's becoming emotional here. Yaddoshuma pranihitam guru bhishma karna nriptri garta shalya sando baha vikadya asranya moga mahimani nirupitani no sprishur nire haridasam ivasurani. Great generals like Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Bhurishrava, Susharma, Shalya, Jadrat and Bahalik all directed their invincible weapons against me. But by his Lord Krishna's grace, they could not even touch a hair on my head. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj, the supreme devotee of Lord Nrsimhadev, was unaffected by the weapons the demons used against him. The history of Prahlad Maharaj, the great devotee of Nrsimhadev, is narrated in the 7th canto. So we'll read that later. Okay, now Prabhupada gives a little story about everybody, all the names mentioned here. So first he's talking about Karna. So Karna, born of Kunti by the sun god prior to her marriage with Maharaj Pandu, Karna took his birth with bangles and earrings. Extraordinary signs for an undaunted hero. In the beginning, his name was Vasusen, but when he grew up, he presented his natural bangles and earrings to Indradev, and therefore he became known as Vaikartan. After his birth from the maiden Kunti, he was thrown in the Ganges. Later, he was picked up by Adirath, and he and his wife Radha brought him up as their own offspring. Karna was very charitable, especially towards the Brahmins. There was nothing he could not spare for a Brahman. In the same charitable spirit, he gave in charity his natural bangles and earrings to Indradev, who, being very much satisfied with him, gave him in return a great weapon called Shakti. So this happened before the Mahabharata war started. Indradev, because he was the father of Arjun, he wanted to protect Arjun, and Karna, because he had those earrings and the bangles. Of course, it said bangles here, but I think he had the shield to protect himself, kavach. So Indradev, he took the form of a Brahman and went to Karna, and Karna asked him for these things. Of course, Suryadev, who was father of Karna, he had prohibited him from giving away these, but Karna said, "No, I am true to my vow that any Brahman asks me for anything, I'll give it to him." So Indradev, he was very pleased by Karna's behavior, and in return he gave him Shakti weapon. And that Shakti weapon, Karna wanted to use on Arjun, but somehow Krishna protected Arjun. He was admitted as one of the students of Dronacharya, and from the very beginning there was some rivalry between him and Arjun. Seeing his constant rivalry with Arjun, Duryodhana picked him up as his companion and gradually grew into greater intimacy. He was also present in the great assembly of Draupadi's Swayamvar function, and when he attempted to exhibit his talent in that meeting, Draupadi's brother declared that Karna could not take part in the competition because of his being the son of a Shudra carpenter. So this Adirath was a carpenter. So because they raised Karna as a son, Karna was known as son of a Shudra carpenter. Although he was refused in the competition, still when Arjun was successful in piercing the fish target on the ceiling and Draupadi bestowed her garland upon Arjun, Karna and the other disappointed princes offered an unusual stumbling block to Arjun while he was leaving with Draupadi. Specifically, Karna fought with him very valiantly, but all of them were defeated by Arjun. Duryodhana was very much pleased with Karna because of his constant rivalry with Arjun, and when he was in power, he enthroned Karna in the state of Anga. Being baffled in his attempt to win Draupadi, Karna advised Duryodhana to attack King Drupad, for that after defeating him, both Arjun and Draupadi could be arrested. But Dronacharya rebuked them for this conspiracy and they refrained from the action. Karna was defeated many times, not only by Arjun but also by Bhimsen. He was the king of the kingdom of Bengal, Odisha and Madras combined. So this Ang Desh, it was the kingdom of Bengal, Odisha and Madras. Later on, he took an active part in Rajasuya sacrifice of Maharaj Yudhishthir, and when there was gambling between the rival brothers designed by Shakuni, Karna took part in the game, and he was very pleased when a Draupadi was offered as a bet in the gambling. This fed his old grudge. When Draupadi was in the game, he was very enthusiastic to declare the news, and it is he who ordered Dushasan to take away the garments of both the Pandavas and Draupadi. He asked Draupadi to select another husband because, being lost by the Pandavas, she was rendered a slave of the Kurus. He was always an enemy of the Pandavas, and whenever there was an opportunity, he tried to curb them by all means. During the battle of Kurukshetra, he foresaw the conclusive result, and he expressed his opinion that due to Lord Krishna's being the chariot driver of Arjun, the battle should be won by Arjun. He always differed with Bhishma, and sometimes he was proud enough to say that within 5 days he could finish up the Pandavas if Bhishma would not interfere with his plan of action. But he was much mortified when Bhishma died. He killed Ghatotkacha with the Shakti weapon obtained from Indradev. His son Vrishasena was killed by Arjun. He killed the largest number of Pandava soldiers. At last there was a severe fight with Arjun, and it was he only who was able to knock off the helmet of Arjun. But it so happened that the wheel of his chariot stuck in the battlefield mud, And when he got down to set the wheel right, Arjun took the opportunity and killed him, although he requested Arjun not to do so. But Arjun killed him because Krishna told Arjun to do so. Even though Karna didn't have the weapons in his hand, but Krishna told Arjun, you better kill him right now. And Arjun did that. So we'll stop here, although there's 2, 3 more characters that Prabhupada has described, so we'll take it up tomorrow. And I'll stop here, see anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
I lost you.
Yeah, I think the connection got interrupted.
Okay. Meanwhile, anybody else has a question or comment?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mata. Yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I wanted to ask that during period of incognito when Arjuna was dressed as that Brihanala. So when he was fighting, were none of the Kauravas able to know that he is, Arjun?
That they found out, and that was the contention. Actually, Duryodhan said because he recognized Arjun, and the deal was that if they were recognized within 1 year of incognito, they again have to go back to 12 years of forest exile and 1 year of incognito again. But Bhishmadev said, no, your calculation is wrong, their 1 year of incognito is over. So that's where the contention was, dispute was. And Duryodhan stuck to his point, no, it's still not over. And Bhishmadev, Dronacharya, everybody said it was over. And the 1 year was over actually. I don't know how the calculation went on. I haven't studied the details of it. But so that's where, so Duryodhan stuck to his point. No, it wasn't over. That's why when Krishna came as peace messenger, Duryodhan said, I will not give them anything because they haven't fulfilled their vows, fulfilled their promise. So there's always some problem.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mata.
Prabhuji, Danvatal goes to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, I have a question. I wanted to ask more about when you said that in difficulties, it's easy to remember Krishna. While if we are in good situation, then it becomes difficult. But sometimes, Prabhuji, I want to understand how to if we are in difficulty or some situation, how to surrender Krishna in those moments. Because sometimes I feel it's quite rare though, but I've felt that if there is some situation comes, then it becomes very hard.
I'm saying comparatively, if we have everything is going okay in our lives, suppose health is good, job is good, kids are listening to us, husband or wives are listening whatever we are saying, all the friends are good, that nobody's playing any politics, money is there in the bank, it's very difficult to remember Krishna then, with feelings.
Okay, I understood.
With real devotion. Because everything is good, then person says, why do I need to bother? But when we are put into difficulty, and if we have the knowledge that it is Krishna only we have to surrender to, it is comparatively easy. Of course, when we are in difficulty, we are so much disturbed, cannot think of Krishna except besides the difficulty, but comparatively of the two situations, the real test is when we have everything, then you remember Krishna. And then in being grateful to Krishna, chant his holy name with feelings, with devotion, with surrender. It's very difficult. Is that okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, can you give some tips also, like if we are, how to focus, if we are in some situation, how to be just constant?
Seemingly good situation or bad situation?
Bad situation, Prabhuji.
Then there is no the shelter except Krishna. Krishna, you're the only one who can fix this problem for me. Or even if you don't fix the problem, at least give me the attachment to chant the holy names feelingly. At least we can beg to him for that.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, one question.
Yes, Prabhu.
So this is when Duryodhana visited Lord Krishna for his participation in the fight, in the war. So Krishna offered him Narayani Sena. So this Narayani Sena was his Krishna's Sena in Dwarka, or?
Yes, from Dwarka. Because Duryodhana had gone to Dwarka to ask Krishna for help. And both are related to Krishna. So Krishna had to help both of them. And that was also a test for Duryodhana. Arjuna asked for Krishna, and Duryodhana was very happy that he asked for Krishna. So I'll get the whole army of Krishna. And that army was practically nobody had defeated that army. So Duryodhana's calculations were like that, but he was basically wrong in his calculations.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other question or comment? So I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.